Hey everybody, it's Wesley with a quick recap on a trade that I took today on CRON. I know other traders in the room were looking at this trade. It was on our gappers list, as it has been for the past handful of days after coming out with earnings. Those earnings were mixed. So what I was looking at this morning was the fact that CRON has been testing the bottom of this consolidation range that has existed on the daily chart for the past couple of months, and today opened below the 50-day moving average. So from really kind of this bull flag right here on up, it's basically held above this level. So going from the daily down through all the time frames, it just continued to kind of validate this bearish bias, I suppose one might say, that I was forming on this chart. But it looked good for a short. So at the open, my basic idea was that if the price action came up and held below the 50-day moving average, which is this black line, that'd be a fantastic place to enter this trade. However, I have a 5-minute rule like many other traders in the room do. I haven't always followed this rule, and typically where I don't is on these daily chart setups. And I've had some really good trades that have started, inside that first 5-minute period. The problem that I run into or have run into is that if that early trade misses, then I get into this over trading stance, and the over trading in general is just a terrible habit that I don't want anything to do with. So I went back to this 5-minute rule along with some others rules that I created for myself, and took this as a 5-minute opening range breakdown, which is fine. I mean, you're just getting additional confirmation that this thing is on its way down. So had an initial entry, price came down, tested 200-minute moving average, came back up to flap, bounced off. I added to my position, and from there the trade was basically working pretty well. I think the only real criticism that I have of this trade, and of course, I mean, if others in the room see stuff that they can provide as constructive criticism, I'm 100% open to it. So I was thinking, based on the daily chart, that this thing somewhere within the range of 1750 to 1850, which is this consolidation range that occurred after this big flag started on at the end of January. So that was my target. That was my hopeful, somewhat probable target given the strength of this sell-off. So my criticism is that I started partialing pretty much right away, even though I was thinking down here, and so by the time price did get down here, I barely had any shares left. So this is something else that I'm thinking about and working on as far as my trading habits. I don't take a massive share size the way that Andrew often does in his trade, so it makes no sense to partial out like this. So I got to come up with a more systematic way to do this. In any case, I missed this flush here, which is when we got down to the $17 range, because let's be honest, I was being greedy. I had this line down here. 1750 was basically my target, and I was being stubborn. Missed this. Really, I should have gotten out somewhere in here, but I didn't. It started to get bought back up after lunch. I've covered my last little bit when price broke the 20 period average on the 15-minute chart. And of course, as it so often is the case, literally the next minute is when everybody else that had gotten long on this, somewhere down in here, gave up when they realized there was no way it was going to get into VWAP. and we were back down close to the $18 range, which is where somewhere, yeah, we closed at 1808. So, but no big deal. It was a fantastic trade. Super happy with it. Amazing risk reward. I know others in the room were looking at this trade. I hope you took it. I hope you all made off like bandits. And I look forward to seeing you in the room tomorrow.